Maxine Long from Australian Aromatic Essences, and I'm here today with Harsha, and we're going to demonstrate an inner insight mastery reading. Now there's various levels of the reading that can go from anywhere from 5 minutes to a full consultation. However, today we're just demonstrating the 5-minute inner insight mastery reading where we use 3 discs. So welcome, Harsha.
Thank you.
Now the first step we're going to do, and you have to excuse us because I'll be talking to Harsha all the time, so I may not be looking into the camera, but this is just really for your training purposes, okay? So what I'd like to do, Harsha, is I'd like you to shuffle these cards to whatever feels comfortable and then pick a card, and we're setting the intention that we're going to ask for the highest priority card to come out for you, and that card is going to be what the subject is going to be for the reading. So that'll be the whole focus, and this will be the core, absolute bottom line priority for you at this point in your life. So just have a little shuffle and then choose the card that you're drawn to.
Okay.
Okay, oh there we go. Now that's very funny, Harsha.
That's very interesting.
Because just before we put the camera on, we were just briefly talking about Harsha's aware of something that is challenging for him in his life at the moment, and the very thing that he was even saying, he didn't use the word, but he was talking about how he needs to sort of pull back a little bit and not take on other people's stuff. And here we have the card which is detachment, and that's very much about detachment. What's important to talk about with detachment is that it's about keeping your heart open. No matter what's going on in your life, and let's face it, sometimes things can be pretty challenging, but you always have to keep your heart open. And that's really the essence of our essences, is to have a heart-centered consciousness. But it's about being able to be in that place while still functioning very powerfully in the world, and that's what detachment does. So the focus for you today in the reading, the priority subject is detachment. Would you like to read that card out, please?
Detachment. The intention phrase is to be aware of your connection to others while owning your personal journey. The affirmation is, I am connected to all that is, I am free to be me.
How does that sound?
Sounds very empowering.
That's good. All right, so that's the focus. So as we do the reading, we're coming back to that, because it's good when you do a reading to hone in on the particular subject, because a lot of people that will sit down in front of you will have an idea of what they want the reading on, and it may be that, or it may be something different. So you can be talking to them and they're off about, you know, the man that's going to come into their life or the job that they want or whatever, when really the focus is something quite different. So this sort of brings it into exactly what's your priority, okay? And then the relationship or the job will actually unfold accordingly, but you've got to clear that block first, okay? So let's have a look now. You just pick one of the discs, please.
Any?
Yes. Anyone that you're drawn to, so you just keep looking, and at some point one will jump out at you to actually choose. Okay, so the first one that Harsha has picked out is Sanctuary. And Sanctuary is all about finding that sacred place inside you. It's very much about your home environment. So it's saying to me there's a level where you have to detach with stuff that's going on at home, and it may mean that the energy sometimes at home can be a little bit heavy or a little bit stuck. So what's important is the Sanctuary essence is the one essence that I encourage to use environmentally. I mean, all of them have that ability on one level, but the Sanctuary is really designed to do both, to work with your energy and to work with your environment. But in the context of the reading, it's saying to clear heavy, stuck energy, and to have a sense of peace and calm within you, and to find that place, that special place inside you, that sacred place, and then your external environment reflecting that as well. Okay? Now, for the purpose of this, at this point, it's a person's choice whether, if they've got access to the essences, they would actually spray Harsha with the essence. But just for the sake of with the camera work and so on, it's too difficult to do that today, but I would spray you with Sanctuary so you could experience it. Okay, so we're going to pick out the next one. So we actually pick out 3 discs. Okay, and here is Courage. And courage is all about taking action and moving forward. And when it comes up in a reading, you can confidently say to any of your clients or recipients of the reading that it's saying it's time to do something. Otherwise you pick out another disc. So I can really confidently say it is time and it's time to take action. And so anything you've been procrastinating about, it's time to maybe go into untried areas and new territories, and it's absolutely appropriate to do so. So if you've had qualms about it and you get the courage, it's actually giving you the green light. Okay? So again, at this point, I'd get the courage essence and spray you, but I will say that it's not always essential to do that. It's really your choice depending on the setting. Okay? And the next one. And then this one is certainty, and this is all about your life direction, and it's all about being confident, self-assured, being very having purpose, a sense of purpose in your life of where you're going. It's about being patient. It's having a sense of your own authority. Okay? So just recapping with the reading, if we look at the focus was detachment, it's saying that he has to detach from stuff from home. He has to find that sacred place inside yourself and get rid of any heavy stuck energy that's holding you back. And then when you've done that, if you start taking action and actually just implementing stuff, even if you don't feel really confident about it initially, because it's about courage, sometimes you just got to feel the fear and do it anyway, as you would know. And as you start taking the action, this is where the certainty kicks in, this is where the confidence kicks in, and you feel more self-assured about where you're going and what you're doing. So, Harsha, at this point, I just want you to elaborate. I haven't let you interact because I just wanted to run through the reading just to demonstrate it for the purpose of people watching. But as you can see, that didn't take very long at all. But I'm just going to divert now for some feedback from Harsha, because the next step we're going to take is we're going to ascertain which is the absolute best aromatic essence for you that's going to start addressing all that to get the ball rolling, okay, and to move that core block. But before we do that, I just want you to talk to me about what's actually transpired and how that makes sense, and if you've got any questions.
I guess the detachment, I felt when I picked it, it was me, because I've been throwing out energies, okay, I'm doing this business, and I haven't been confident within myself, and maybe I've been throwing that energy out to the people around me, and they're pushing it back onto me.
Okay,
so,
yes. And I want to say that's really important, because detachment is about detaching from other people's stuff, so we can get dragged down with what other people are doing, and our own stuff. We can get dragged down in our own stuff, and then as you said, you put it out there and you get more stuff back, so you get dragged down and you're not detaching from it. So that's perfect.
And I usually feel like people around me are a mirror for what's going inside of me, rather than saying, oh, it's their fault.
That's great. You already have that awareness. Yeah, that's great.
So the other three, I guess the three discs might mean, okay, take the steps now, be courageous and be certain.
Yes, and it is saying that whatever's going on within you, in your own being and around you, you have to bring yourself in to relax, be calm, be peaceful, and any heavy energy that's holding you back, you just need to let it go, because that's what that essence would do. And that's part of the stepping stone. So this is like a step-by-step process. So we know where we want to be, but this is giving you an insight into what you have to do. That's the first step. Ultimately, we want to be able to detach, heart open, no matter what's going on around you, you're just keeping your own identity and moving forward.
I find that's probably the most, not difficult, the most challenging part, keeping the heart open at the same time.
Correct.
Because you can get...
exactly, and that's what this one, the opposite of detaching is, we get aloof, we shut down, we close off, and then when we're doing that, we're not moving forward in what we want to do. So it defeats the purpose. And detachment is an art form. And so the particular essence helps to show you how to balance that out, and you just move forward without getting weighed down with stuff. Okay? So this is like cleaning the stuff up, the sanctuary. And then the courage, I know you, for example, the project we've been working on, that's new territory for you, and you've been doing a great job, but there's always another level, and you know that. You're aspiring to a lot of really great stuff in your new business that you're getting off the ground. So this is saying you have to get out of comfort zone, and just do it. And you know, part of our project, this is what's happening, and there's going to be more and more of that, and it's reaffirming that to you. Because even if we're doing it, this will indicate, because something else would have come up, that there's another level, and you need to push to that level. Not push in a way that is not in integrity or not in your highest good, but push in a way where you're on your path and you're moving forward no matter what. There's a difference. And the certainty, how does that sit with you?
I find, like, now that we've done our project,
yeah.
I've become more confident about it and more certain. Okay, I did that. I can take to the next step.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it means to me.
Yeah, because you've already been there and done it, and that's great. So this is affirming all of that, and this is going to show you now where for you to go to that next level. Okay, because you're a fairly in tune guy. So Harsh is already on the journey, he's already aware, he's already done a fair bit of work. So this inner insight mastery reading is showing him that he's right on target, but it's also showing you that there's a whole other level, and sometimes you might think this is just it, or I've got to do a lot more of this. Maybe it's suggesting to you that this is another time now to go to that next level, and we've done some few things with this project that we're working on, where he's introduced a whole new technique, and it might be suggesting that it's time to even learn more about that new technique and to lift the notch or the benchmark up into what you're going to be offering your clients. And that's what I'd say this reading was about. Otherwise, a different play out would have come up. And that's where it's helpful, because you are doing it, and he is doing it, I know that, but this is about up a notch and not being afraid of that, not thinking that oh, well, I've done it and now I'll just keep doing this. It's about going to that next level, which is pretty exciting.
It is.
Okay, so what we'll do is I'll just, I sometimes like to put out the card disc with the reading. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. I like to trust my intuition on that. So for anyone doing the reading, if you feel inclined to pull out the disc that matches the card, so you actually have 4 discs rather than 3, there's no right or wrong. We all love structure and we all love to know exactly what to do, but sometimes within the guidelines it's good to be a little bit flexible and to just see what you feel intuitively. And I feel intuitively we're going to put the detachment in with the discs so that we can ascertain which essence out of those 4 rather than out of 3. So what we're going to do now is we're going to flip them over. We have a bit of fun because I'm just going to shuffle them around, and you don't look, Harsha. And so I've shuffled them around, and now what we're going to do is we're going to ask which essence is in your highest good, Harsha, to take with you today for your transformation, for exactly what you need for your highest good, and we'll just see what he chooses. There you go. And guess what? It was detachment. And generally, 9 times out of 10, it will be the card they've pulled out or the first disc. If it's not that it's not working, but sometimes when you've given the reading or when you have used the spray, there's been a shift that's taken place, and it just means you might have moved that next step. But this is saying for you to move that next step is that detachment, which was interesting in our conversation before the reading, that you were aware that that's the one thing holding you back. So in a way, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, we've established that, but the detachment bit is the stiff stuff that's holding him back. So this essence would help you to keep your heart open, not take on other people's stuff, so you keep your own identity and you keep moving forward. And that will be working on your energy and your vibration with you, working to help facilitate you to shift those blocks to elevate you to the next level. Okay?
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.